Today I'm bringing you another whispered horror story written by me, and this one is inspired by a old German urban legend. Here in Germany, there are quite a number of urban legends that blur the line between history and pure nightmare, and in my opinion, few of them are as haunting as the events that took place in the tiny German city of Hamelin. I have few of my notes on my phone, so forgive me if you see me looking at it. In the year 1284 chronicles there was that 130 children vanished from the German town of Hamelin. A stained glass window once showed them following a strange figure, a man dressed in motley, carrying a pipe. To this day, no one truly knows what happened to these children, whether or not they might have fallen victim to the plague or some other natural disaster. I find the story and the legend of Hamelin extremely haunting, and I got inspired to create my own adaptation to it. And for those of you who know me and been following me, you probably already know that I am a huge fan of Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, and I thought that I will create a story based on the Hamelin mystery, but heavily inspired by Lovecraft. So grab yourself your beverage of choice. I have here in my very Poe-inspired cauldron a very dark coffee that fits my heart and soul. And let's dive into the story of the mystery of Hamelin. Hamelin in the late 13th century was no jewel of the Weser River. The town stank of damp, straw and rot, its crooked houses leaning like old trunks against one another. Smoke from the chimneys clung heavy to the air, never quite lifting, so that even at noon the sky seemed the color of ash. Beneath the streets, the Weser lapped sluggish and dark, carrying filth and refuse downstream. they swarmed like a curse, black, sleek furred bodies, writhing from every gutter and grain sack. Their eyes glowed red in the torchlight, their teeth chittering like the sound of bones breaking. They stripped the fields, followed the wells, and chewed at the dead in their shallow graves. Hamelin's prayers went unanswered until the piper came. He appeared without warning, as though he had always been there, waiting. His figure was tall and bent in strange angles, and his coat shimmering in motley patterns, not of bright cheer, but of colors that hurt the eye to look upon, like the shifting oil on stagnant water. His hat slouched like that of a jester, tipped with a bauble that seemed to twitch of its own accord. His grin was too wide, too knowing, stretched across a pale face with eyes as flat and deepless as old milk. His pipe was unlike any instrument known to Hamelin. Not wood, not metal, but something pale, smooth, and porous, as if it had once been bone. The surface seemed to breathe faintly, pulsing when he raised it, as though alive in his hands. Its length twisted in subtle, unsettling curves, more like the spine of some strange creature than the work of a craftsman. When he pressed it to his lips, there was no breath, no motion in his chest. The sound came as if the pipe itself exhaled, a thin, piercing tone that set teeth on edge and rattled the panes of glass. It was not music, not truly. It was language, though no alive could understand its words. A speech meant not for humans, but for vermin, for something older that slumbered beneath the earth. The piper never spoke. His mouth always stretched in that too wide smile, frozen, unmoving. No voice, no word, no sight ever escaped him. It was as if he had surrendered his tongue long ago, given it up in exchange for the power of the pipe. When he laughed, it was the pipe that laughed, a thin shriek of sound that skittered through the bones of those who heard it. To the townsfolk, it seems that the pipe was not his instrument, but his voice, his breath, his soul. And perhaps he was not man at all, but only the shadow of something that had chosen to wear a man's shape in order to be heard. And when he played his pipe, the sound was not music, it was hunger given voice. It was a vibration older than the stones of Hamelin itself, a drum that glowed at the bones. The rats came first, thousands, 10 of thousands, a tide of fur and teeth that bore through the town in frenzy. He led them to the Weser, and at his command they drowned themselves, their black bodies writhing until the river was thick with their corpses. The people cheered, but when the piper asked for his due, the council refused, their eyes averted like guilty children. He only laughed, that hollow, echoing laugh of his, as though something inside the sound bent reality itself. The following night, the children awoke. The song came again, thin and sharp, winding through the darkened alleys, and the children rose one by one, as though pulled by strings. They followed him through the streets, past the gables and leaning towers, past their parents' cries and clawing hands. Their faces were blank, their eyes shining with that same pale light that lived in his. They laughed, but the sound was strange, echoing, doubled, as though another voice laughed with them from somewhere deeper, somewhere not of this earth. The piper led them to the mountain road. The earth groaned, split wide, and within the blackness pulsed a light, not fire, not lantern glow, but something vast, something alien, as though a door had opened into the stars themselves. The piper bowed as if welcoming them to a grand performance, and then he and the children stepped inside. The mountain sealed. Only 3 children remained behind, crippled or blind, their bodies spared, but their minds hollowed out forever haunted, but what by what they glimpsed. Hamelin never spoke of it aloud, but mothers wept for years. Fathers cursed the empty earth, and no pipe was played within the town for centuries. Yet when the wind coils down from the mountains and slides through Hamelin's crooked alleys, there are those who still swear they hear it, a shrill, cosmic tune, thin as the laughter of a jester in the dark, and the faint patter of many, many small feet. What walked through Hamelin in 1248 was no man, no charlatan. It was something older, something wearing the face of a jester to mock us, something that demanded not gold but children, and it took them. I hope you all enjoyed this story of mine based on the Hamelin legend. I really liked writing this one in particular. All the research I put into it, and I truly, truly hope I did it justice. I hope to see you all next time.